Not a pretty win at all by any stretch of the imagination, but the Rangers find a way to beat the Buffalo Sabres 3-1, and this is a important win as the Islanders ended up losing tonight against the Washington Capitals, who we are now only 5 points behind, who do have a game in hand on us. However, we do play them the next 2 games, and if we could put together 4 points and win these next 2 games, things could look a lot more promising for the playoff chances if we do end up making the playoffs. Pittsburgh didn't help us tonight against Boston. However, even if we don't make the playoffs, you're starting to see positive strides at the team, which is really what's important right now. Not a good first period at all. It took till the end of the second period really for them to I'd say actually the end of the second period. I mean, and then they let up that one goal that really bit them in the ass. That's the only reason why I was hesitant to say even the end of the second, but they were getting more sustained offense. There's a great shift by that third line at some point with Kreider, Hedl, and Kakko. Hedl looked great after those stupid penalties that stupid penalty that he ended up taking, and then which ended up leading to the goal. But overall, not the prettiest win, but we do end up winning this game. It did look pretty though in the third period, the way we played. It definitely did. Brendan Smith opened the scoring sheet in the second period with a beautiful slap shot. Still, I got the vibe that this was not going to be a good game because, like, the way they were playing way too lazy. They weren't playing well enough. And I just got a vibe that this was going to be a bad game for them. And then Sam Reinhart, towards the end of that second period, gets one from Middlestad on the power play from a stupid penalty that Hedl ended up taking. And Hedl just did not look right at all this game. He did end up in the third period having one great move that he almost redeemed himself with. But other than that, he didn't really have the best game. In the third period, though, like I said, he did look a lot better. Third period, the Rangers start showing a lot more sustainable offense, and they start showing that they could maybe put something together, maybe actually string together 2 points tonight. Lafreniere ends up getting a beautiful shot off from Ryan Strom's pass, and Fox gets the secondary assist. Fox is leading the league for points of amongst defensemen. And Lafreniere, that was probably the best goal he has scored all season long, and this was just a great snipe. 2 players on the Sabres trying to get back, and he ends up burying that one home. And then a little bit later, Mika Zibanejad scores on the power play from Kreider and Strome. Kreider gives that right to Zibanejad on the left side of the net. Zibanejad, smelling lunchtime, buries that sucker home, and the Rangers end up holding on to this one to win the game 3-1 over the Buffalo Sabres. The refs were not that great, got to be honest, this game, but thankfully we won, because we didn't, then it would have been a little bit more of a problem there. But they did end up winning this game, thankfully. But good to see the power play's actually been doing well lately. That's something that would have been useful for the standings all season. And then another thing that Joe Micheletti ended up mentioning, I don't remember if it was during the game or before the game a little. He ended up mentioning that if we got just half of the production from Zibanejad that we've got from the second half, if we got that in the first half when he was pretty much invisible, just imagine where this team would be. But woulda, coulda, shoulda with this. It doesn't matter where we are right now. We right now are in 5th place with 58 points. Boston's ahead of us with 62, and the Islanders have 63. These next 2 games are going to be the most important of the season. If you win in regulation both these games against the Islanders, who knows what could happen? Who knows what could happen going down the line, going towards as we get to the end of the season here, and as we are down this final stretch. Speaking of good things that could happen, let's talk about what could happen if you click the link in the description and go to Fade Grips. You get grips on your controller like this, cases, shirts, hoodies, or snapbacks. Get whatever you want. Click the link in the description. Use code Python to save yourself 20% off of all products on their website. And also be sure while you're down there to follow me on Twitter. I do ask for your thoughts and questions at the end of every single Ranger game. And also be sure to leave a like, subscribe for new, turn the notification bell, and all of that stuff while you are down there. Might as well. In terms of the ice time situation tonight, man, I don't like that Kravtsov's only been getting like 8 minutes a game. I'd like to see him play a little bit more out there. I think Zach Jones has looked pretty good, that he deserves a couple more minutes, but overall, I can't really complain too much. Seeing Lafreniere and Kakko finally get a little more ice time than they've been getting. It's not much, but they're getting more. And Lafreniere specifically, as with the top 6 role now, you're noticing the difference. It's night and day, like I mentioned last video. And I don't know why it took this long for it to happen. And in terms of Igor's performance tonight, by the way, we're just so lucky to have this guy as our goalie for the next however many amount of years. We are just so lucky. And I don't want to hear anyone bash him for that 6-1 loss against the Islanders. That was far from his fault. And other than that, I mean, except for the beginning of the season, he was a little shaky. Just all season, he's just been so consistent. And if he could keep this up and we could string together those 4 points against the Islanders without letting them get points like I mentioned before, who knows? Who knows? Let's get to Twitter. Keeping it short with this one. This was not one really with a lot of action in it. This game was kind of a little bit slow and boring, got to be honest, until the third period. But New York Style 24 says, Laffy with the game winner, and Igor carried us. And you think we can make the playoffs now? Because I'm starting to get faith. Yeah, it was great to see Lafreniere get the game winner. Nice to see him get star of the game as well there. And Igor definitely did carry tonight's game. He kept us in it the whole time, only laying up a power play goal, which is what you want to see out of your goalie. And do I think we can make the playoffs? Ask me after the next 2 games against the Islanders. You have to ask me then, because it's a matter of, do we win these next 2 games? How do we play? Because we do not have any more games against teams that are in the bottom of the division or teams that are below us in the division. We play the Islanders, Capitals, and the Bruins all twice. And you realistically need to win every single one of those games to make the playoffs. You can maybe lose one. Is that going to happen, though? Are we realistically going to win every game or lose only one? Probably not. So I wouldn't count on us making the playoffs. However, if we do, like I said, get 4 points in these next 2 games, and we don't let the Islanders get any, we have to win these in regulation, have to win both in regulation, and we need to rely then on Buffalo beating the Islanders the next 2 games. And if Buffalo could just win one of them, and then if the Islanders could lose the rest of their, if the Islanders could just lose the rest of their games except for maybe one, maybe. But again, it's just so tough, and it's just such a stretch that I just don't think it's going to happen. But hopefully I am wrong about that, because I'd like to see this team in the playoffs just to give the young guys some experience. And because I don't think we're going to make it far. I've said it before about that, but just to give these guys some playoff experience would be nice. Or even like I said last video, who knows with the way Lafreniere's been playing lately, Kakko, all the young guys, who knows if we do end up going on a bit of a run. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Leave a like, subscribe for new. And that's been Python. I'm out. Peace.